I'm Paul Qualia. I'm the founder of Papua Rugby and a co-founder of Indonesian Rugby. This letter is addressed to both the Indonesian and Asian rugby communities, and also specifically to the current Papuan rugby leadership. Dear members of the Indonesian and Asian rugby communities, I send this letter to express concern about the spirit of rugby in both Indonesia and Asia. For 34 years, Papua Rugby has been a critical part of the Indonesian rugby community, first attending the Bali Tens rugby tournament in 1995 and attending Jakarta Rugby Tens frequently for all but 4 of the years since then. This year, despite some of the largest contractors in the world and having one of the largest mines in the world and a government system that benefits greatly from the mine, it has received the greatest ever royalties from any gold and copper project anywhere in the world. 30 Indigenous rugby players sit idle in Jayapura and Timika and are unable to attend the Jakarta Tens tournament this month. Experts in the government, in the company and in the contractors sit in Jakarta, Kuala Kencana and Tembagapura and benefit greatly in their individual careers and pursuits from the vast resources of this wonderful mining project. The Indigenous teams of Papua and their flagship provincial team, the Katekas, were once a small dream, but are now an iconic name in Papua for Papuans and for all Indonesians. They are an icon of sporting development, of what can be done with a small dream. It is with great concern that I ask Papuan Rugby and PRUI, that's the official Indonesian Rugby Committee, why are these club teams not being supported? These clubs have attended Jakarta Tens and Bali Tens for more than 3 decades, in excess of 60 tours, and only ever had 2 clubs come to Papua in return. People in Papua vested to run Papuan rugby. People that built a platform of political credibility to be elected in local parliaments on the back of rugby and in provincial parliament, are focused on their election to a position of power rather than supporting the clubs, players and people in Papua that help them develop their popularity. The same applies to PRUI and to other clubs in Western Indonesia. There is a constant train to both Papuan rugby and to remote site rugby to travel and be part of the rugby community, but with rare exceptions of some PRUI effort and some substantial efforts by Bali Rugby to tour to Papua and efforts by the Komodo Committee to welcome and assist clubs to register and assist with logistics, there has been relatively little done to assist Papuan Rugby to attend tournaments. Tournaments that they attend overcoming great distance and cost challenges. My company and my family have often filled the hole caused by apathy and, but narcissism. But perhaps now it is time for PRUI and Papua Rugby to have a wider and broader vision. After 20 years of Indonesian rugby's assistance, perhaps it is time to focus on assisting the remote rugby sites of Indonesia rather than merely seek acclaim for the efforts of others. It's now time to understand the tyranny of distance and assist to overcome it rather than give excuses for poor performance. PRUI and Papua Rugby, why are we failing to assist remote site clubs throughout Indonesia? Why do we think it is possible for remote site clubs to act independently to cover the costs to travel to Jakarta and Bali? Jakarta has a wealth of company headquarters. We must stop seeking excuses as to why we do not support rugby with a national vision in Indonesia. The same applies to Asian rugby. There are so many meetings held in 5-class restaurants, but there is little done to understand remote site rugby. Again, they offer excuses why the effort must be done in a club. The lack of vision is a great impediment to the development of rugby. Are the right people that understand remote site rugby, remote sites and development rugby are involved? or are nice politicians involved. I'm saddened after 16 years that Prui and Papua Rugby Committee seek individual and organisational profile and acclaim from Asian rugby and from the domestic government in Indonesia on the back of the efforts by remote site rugby, but do little to understand the drain these clubs faced to attend tournaments in Indonesia. It appears to me that development rugby in Asia, and indeed globally, is upside down, led by people that specialise in Tier 1 cities and eloquence. As is often the case, the Jakarta Rugby Committee is now left in an awkward position, like Bali Rugby is annually, because the clubs of Papuan rugby lack leadership and representation to assist them. Their national and provincial leadership from Prui Rugby and Papua Rugby now need to stand up and show some rugby spirit. For the team, not for the individual. All must benefit equally. I implore you to think with selfless vision and respect the efforts of the organising committees. They must book hotels and fields and caterers and transport. Papua Rugby leadership, this letter is answerable by you.